Okay.
Oh, shouldn't advertise it until we tested it, I guess. Let's see.
That's fine. It's a test. People know there's tests.
Okay.
Tests.
Yeah, I can hear it too, so it's working.
Wait. Thrill's sounding twice though, like it's repeating.
That's because you're hearing me on Mumble and on the stream, silly.
No, the stream is on. I mean, Jackie, do you have the stream open?
Oh, let me see it again.
Arik says he doesn't hear the echo on the stream.
Oh, I had 2 tabs open of the same stream. Oh, fuck.
All right.
Sorry, Janky. My bad.
It's all good. The good news is now we have another guy who can stream.
Thank God. Yeah, the stream is fine. All right. Just leave it like that. I guess I'll just rename the title.
Did you tell him you might want to leave your chats or turn your chat off or something?
Just
So
your
that
chats.
people
your
don't
red
see your
chats.
private chats.
Just do !chat and whatever, just delete all your chat.
Well, that's deleting your chats, but you can also press Escape F5 and turn all the text off if you want to do that. But that's up to you. Yeah, there's a couple ways to do it. You can do that.
It's kind of fun to read the chat though while the game is going. Then you can see it recorded on YouTube. See what people were saying. Yeah, we can't hear you.
Well, yeah, I couldn't hear you on there.
All right, so are we going to the commentary group?
Yeah. And Raven, did you say you can't commentate or you can, Raven?
I got this.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I think so.
Awesome, Jackie. Thanks a lot. But before you go, can you center on the puck, please? Press
F5.
F5. Okay.
You should probably do that. Interference.
No,
Don't worry about it.
Doesn't matter.
All right, so stream's on. May as well get ready and go.
Sure.
Just confirming stream is on.
Yes, it is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Realistic Subspace Hockey League. This is potentially the biggest game that has been streamed thus far. Interference and Dirty Birds, both teams undefeated currently. Right now we have Dirty Birds 5-0-1, Interference 5-0-0. Today we have, Thrill, as per usual. Thrill, I still have to say this. I think this is the biggest game we've seen so far this season.
Well, with the context of the season up to this point, yeah, both these teams are undefeated, and there have been a few games, so it's not like they're 2-3-0. Like that's not really undefeated. Being undefeated is having a substantial amount of matches and still having lost. So Dirty Birds is 5-0-1 or 4-0-1, I believe. They have all wins and one tie. Interference is 5-0. So whoever wins this stays undefeated and kind of is probably going to take the crown for the top team for the first half of the season. Of course, it's still early in the season, so we're not sure how things are going to pan out for the second half. But for this first half, this is pretty much going to decide who's going to be top dog for this half of the season.
Well, here's the other situation as well. Looking at these lineups, they both are looking fairly solid. On the Interference side, you've got the leader, Buckcat, the goalie, Linux, Mace 23, who's been huge at many times this season. Regiment is in the lineup. You have Strike, which means I believe they're going to have the dual Warbird system, and TJ back on defense. When you look at the other side, you have Banana Squadron, a former playoff MVP, Blucka Blucka, who many consider to be the best player in the zone, saving my current choice for the MVP so far this season. Plus you have Haze Cloud, a Hull Breach, and Krub in goalie ship. Now, I'm just going to ask this right now. Do you feel that Krub has what it takes to compete with Linux in a goalie duel tonight?
Well, Linux has a substantial advantage in that department. I've said this before, in terms of just how well they play in the position. Krub does okay in standard situations, but he's kind of weak in odd man rush situations and breakaways, whereas Linux is definitely not weak in those areas at all. But one thing to keep in mind is I think that mid-wise and defense-wise, Dirty Birds has an advantage over interference, so it could balance out. We'll just have to see really who controls more of the puck. I think that's really going to decide who's going to win this match.
I think that's certainly fair to say. At the face-off circle right now, Blucka Blucka, the star Warbird for Dirty Birds. And on the other side, you've got the two Warbirds, Buckhead up top, Strike down low. Regiments will take that face-off. Mace and TJ back and mid and D respectively, and Hull Breach and Haze Cloud mid and D.
And Holbreach hasn't been able to play all that much this season because he's been having a lot of lag issues, but honestly, he's extremely solid in the midfield, and he's probably going to be playing the double midfield system with Haze Cloud kind of filling in the role that Doriath has played for them so far. And since Interference is playing the dual Warbird, I think that if Haze Cloud and Holbreach play the double mid effectively, like Dirty Birds has been doing up to this point, dual Warbird's going to have a really tough time penetrating that, I think.
Well, here's the other thing to keep in mind. Linux much more confident in the goalie ship as he is all the way up at the blue line at times, and Krub is already in position in front of his crease. You know Krub is going to want to make sure he doesn't let down his team. We have a phase off the face-off, and here comes Dirty Birds. Banana Squadron 69 has the puck back to saving. He's going to try and sneak it past Strike, can't do it, but still gets the ball up north anyway. Saving has it still to Blucka Blucka. Squadron to Saving, and they're going to get a chance on goal here. No, Linux will make that save. Buckhead takes it to the center line, gets killed by Blucka Blucka. In a battle of two elite Warbirds, and Blucka Blucka might get a shot on net. No, TJ with some great defense, and Linux with a double kill on Blucka Blucka.
And I'll be interested to see, because one thing that I've noticed in Dirty Birds matchups is they keep dominating the puck time in all the games, but they haven't scored as many goals as you would expect for a team that's dominating the puck. They've had a couple games go to overtime, even though they control the puck a lot more. So seeing as they're up against the best goalie in the league in Linux, that could end up being a problem for them if they're not able to put away the opportunities they put up.
Blucka Blucka trying to make sure he didn't turn the ball over. He wanted his team to regain possession and is able to do that. He got the puck to Banana Squadron, and it's right back to Blucka Blucka coming up south. Gets by TJ. Shot. No, it's going to phase through Linux. Buckhead and TJ switching the puck back and forth. Reggie to Mace, and Mace will find Strike. He's only got to beat Haze Cloud, except he's going to slow right down and let Mace try to reset the puck. The pass to TJ misses. It hits the board up north just past the center line. And now Bucky will try and do some dodging. Mace had the puck. He gets killed by Blucka Blucka. Tries a ball kill on TJ. That will not work. And now Strike and Buckhead, the two Warbirds, taking it up north. Draw pass to Bucky. Ships it ahead to Regiments. And Regiments tries to cut up front to Mace. He does. Strike with a breakaway and a big kill on D from Hull Breach.
Yeah, and those double mids, and that's one of the advantages of that. They're both back in pretty good position, and Haze Cloud actually missed on that one, but Hull Breach, the second mid, was in position to make that check. So the double mid system works very well and is very forgiving at times, whereas if you just have one defender back there at all times that's in position, if he misses a check, then the goalie's pretty much on his own. Dirty Birds players definitely supporting themselves a lot.
You have Saving at the blue line here with Banana Squadron. They're being very careful with their puck possessions. They're not going to just throw any puck on net. Obviously, Linux is one of the better goalies in the league, if not the top dog in that category. Regiments gets killed by the Warbird. TJ has to come and pick it up, and Regiment's not happy with that random damage. Banana Squadron Moves the puck up to Blucka. It'll get shipped down to... No, Blucka hangs onto it and ships it ahead to Saving. Gives it back to his fellow elite player there. Squadron now has it. And they're just going to hang on to the puck and try to make something happen. Not a very good angle for them up top. And there's a pass to Hultbreach. Gets missed all the way back to the other side. Krubb will go to pick that up and give it right back to Hazecloud. Misses that pass. Goes to Blucka instead. He'll take it over the center line. And he dodges both TJ and Strike. Blucka with a breakaway. Shoots, and a big save by Lennox.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that's going to happen where against a lot of other teams, Blucka's going to have a much higher chance of scoring on that breakaway. Usually you think the breakaway is going to be in favor of the goalie, but some of the goalies in the league don't do as well as those on they should. But Lennox is going to stop most of those like a goalie should because he makes most of the saves that goalies should. So they're probably going to need to create lots of passing plays in order to score.
We had two duds there. Here's a situation. A lot of stuff going on at the crease. Banana Squadron puts the puck on net, but Lennox makes a big save. Saving back then, we saw two duds, each from Strike and Buckcat, the two Warbirds, who are making their way up to try to get a shot on net here. Here's a chance. Regiments hangs on to the puck. He will move it back to Strike, and they're going to reset a little bit. Switches to Mace. Mace carries it over. He gets killed by Saving. And now we have a chance. Saving and Blucka. 2-on-0. And, he hangs on to it too long, and Lennox makes that save.
Yeah, a little unfortunate.
There's another chance there by Squadron, but Lennox will get that one.
That's the thing where they made that 2v0 play pretty obvious. But honestly, that's going to work against most goalies in the league. Whereas Lennox started reacting a little bit before the pass, so he was in position to get the save there. A lot of times on the 2v0s, you just pass up for the one-timer and the goalie's going to get scored on. But you have to throw in some head fakes or put a little bit more effort in against Lennox.
Here's a chance, 2-on-1. Saving hangs on after the pass from Blucka. They cannot put the puck on net. They're going to keep possession. Banana Squadron, wow.
Big lag there.
Huge lag there. Regiments will throw it back. And they're going to try and get Bucky a one-on-one with Hazecloud. Strike trying to catch up. Hazecloud can't get the kill. Then he gets it. There's a second kill by Krubb. Hultbreach will dud that shot. And he and Banana Squadron will try to make something happen. Saving sits back. There's Hultbreach with it. Tries to get the puck to Blucka. Blucka can't do it. Wow, I would have seen that puck go into the net there. That was crazy lag. Blucka in the crease. And lots of stuff happening on the crease. Lennox will make that save. They're really trying to make some tough decisions here for Lennox. Bucky catches this. And he'll give it back to Mace. TJ behind the blue line.
I'm really glad that both teams have kind of shown. Hold on a second.
Here's a shot on net. Oh, big save by Krubb. Regiments thought he had the...
Nana's really kind of lagging. He might eventually have to get subbed here. I'm not sure how bad his lag is, but that's a couple of opportunities that have been ruined simply because his pass spiked. But I was saying before those, I'm really glad both these teams have kind of shown the best of their teams. Sometimes when these teams face in the regular season, there will be players missing here and there, but both of these teams have kind of shown different combinations of what you can consider their optimal lines.
Here's a chance, and Mace will pick up that puck and get the steal. You're certainly right. Interference wants to show that they are still the best team in the league after winning it all last year, and there was a lot of people that don't believe they are there. And Dirty Birds was completely out of the conversation earlier. Here's a chance, shoot, scores! Regiments puts it in.
Yeah, and there were some duds there. There were actually a lot of duds on that play. 4 that I actually count. So a couple of them were level 1s. And interference is going to get the goal there. And there's one thing where sometimes you want to play more to positioning as opposed to checks, because checks can be dudded sometimes. And you can consider it luck, you can consider it random, whatever it wants, but that is part of the game. And you kind of have to take that into account, and that's why sometimes position-based play is better than checks because, well, checks can be dudded. You can't dud good positional defense.
Certainly true. And one thing to note here as well, interference, 1 goal on 2 shots. Saving, oh, that's a nice catch by Regiments there. And Dirty Bird, 6 shots on net, but can't make anything happen. Here's a chance. 2-0, Squadron to Saving scores! And just like that, this game is tied at 1.
Yeah, that's the second 2-0 that Dirty Birds has had, so interference needs to get back on D a little bit more. I think in a lot of their matches, they've kind of been depending on their stay-at-home defensemen and the combination of Linux to just handle everything, and they just think that's going to work out for them. But against a team with Dirty Birds that has a lot of offensive potency, that's not going to work out as well. Everybody needs to get back and contribute.
Banana Squadron tries to put another puck on net. Linux with the save. Here's Strike with Mace and Regiments. Oh, Hullbreach catches that in the crease. That's going to be a DC, most likely. They're going to hang on to the puck here and wait for the stop play. Obviously, the delayed penalty. And there it is. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Looks like the puck was going wide of the net. But as you know, it is still going to be a DC.
Yeah, definitely a DC. I see a couple players on Dirty Birds complaining that they felt it wasn't close to a DC, but it was pretty clear. So that's going to be 2 minutes. And
well, that's assuming that, oh, there it is, the penalty on Hullbreach. 2 minutes for first DC.
Yeah, and Dirty Birds has a lot more shots than interference right now, 8 shots to 2. And the goalie difference might end up coming into play because it's good that they're able to tie it up because playing behind against Linux is never fun. And honestly, being tied against them isn't very fun either because you got to think that most of the time that if you have equal amounts of possession and equal amounts of shots, then the team with the better goaltender is probably going to come out on top. So Dirty Birds, in order to win this game, is going to need to have more puck possession and a lot more shots. And it seems like they're off to a good start of that so far in this first period.
Here's Buckhead. Regiment's trying to get something to happen on Crub. Oh, Regiment's had another chance there, but saving, stays off the crease. Perfect defensive play there, and now they're going to come back the other way. Blocka and Banana Squadron working together south of the goal. Saving's up north, and they can't make anything happen. Blocka at center ice with Saving. It's supposed to be their shorthanded play, but they're going to try and make something happen. Oh, Saving misses the net.
Yeah, you definitely should have had that, and it's huge timing by Blocka on that pass there. He passed it right as the defender was checking it, and Saving picked it up. The defender check hit him before he picked up the puck. So that was really good timing on the passing play there, but Saving just missed the net. And against Linux, you definitely want to put those shots away because you never know if you're going to get opportunities that good for the rest of the match.
Saving and Banana Squadron with Blocka. They're going to try and get something else going here. 30 seconds left in this penalty to Hullbreach. TJ up to Buckhead North. They'll bounce it right off center ice. Blocka will steal it and just throw it back to Krub. He's going to let it go behind his net. He will not chase it. Strike to Mace. Strike. Still hanging on with Mace. He'll just hang on to the puck and fire it. Krub with a save.
Yeah, it looked like Mace actually was going to check the goalie in the crease, but he actually missed the check.
Penalty now over, back to full strength. Here's Blocka trying to get something to happen. Mace will dud that one off. Strike can't catch that puck, and it goes behind everybody. Krub will bounce it off the wall. This is bad. Mace has the puck. Krub has to run back.
And I think that interference has realized after a good portion of this first period that in terms of puck possession and controlling the offense, Dirty Birds has been ahead of them. And now, instead of kind of hoping that Tijan and Lennox are okay, oh, hold on a second.
Here's a chance. Banana Squadron hangs on to the puck, and he can't put it in the net. He had some players crossing. That was a really close call. 1 minute left in this first period. 1-1. Dirty Birds was originally down 1-0, and now they've come back to tie it.
So yeah, it looks like interference has realized that if they don't all come back and play defense instead of just putting their trust in Tijan and Lennox, that they're probably going to lose. So everyone's coming back on defense now, even the Warbirds. So that's at least a good decision from them.
Krub nearly found himself out of the net there, Curtis Joseph style. But his teammates back him up for sure. 30 seconds left now in this initial period. It's a great game so far, actually. Most of the games we've seen with some of the higher ranked. Here's a chance. Blucka gets killed by Lennox. Sorry, what I was going to say is that with some of these higher ranked teams, we've seen too much defense and not much action. It has not been the case today. Here's saving over the blue line. The Blucka. They'll try to get something happening here. Lennox was narrowly out of position there, something rare you don't normally see. And with 1 second left, that'll end the first period. Highest ranked player for both teams saving with 1 goal, 21 steals, 18 turnovers, 12 checks, 6 checked. Basic stats, 40.6. Lennox with 7 saves and only 1 goal against is the highest rated player for interference at 34.1. So far this game, we've seen, I'd have to say, pretty solid goaltending from both teams. But really, when you're looking at that puck time, it's all Dirty Birds, but they're really biding their time before they throw that puck on net.
Well, they do have twice as many shots. So 8 shots for 1 period is a reasonable amount. And I don't think that it's more the fact that they're facing Lennox. I think that's just Dirty Bird style in general, is that a lot of their players, Saving and Blanca especially, know better than to take, kind of the throwaway shots that you sometimes see from players that really don't have a chance to go in. And a minute and 40 more of puck time, I'm pretty sure that this has not happened to interference yet this season. And they're probably going to want to make a line change and maybe get the dual warbird out of there, because they have the goals are even right now, but if the game continues like it did in that first period with the puck time, Dirty Birds will definitely win this match. And the dual warbird, I think, is going to continue to struggle against the double mid system that Dirty Birds has set up. I'm thinking that Doriath will come in for Hull Breach this period. And they'll probably keep that double mid. Both of those combinations, Haze Cloud and Doriath, or Haze Cloud and Hull Breach, those are both really good combinations. So even if Dirty Birds makes a couple of subs, at least they won't suffer in the mid department.
Well, so far, 2 people have spec'd for Dirty Birds, 1 for interference. And Troydan enters the arena now in a Terrier for interference. The break is over. We're waiting for the 2 for Dirty Birds. You have to think maybe Navi will come in. He had a great offensive explosion in his last game.
I think that they were waiting to see what interference's line was, to see if they're going to leave all their top guys in to decide on who they want to fill out the rest of their line.
Here comes Doriath in Terrier.
Yeah, and that seemed pretty obvious to me. They're not going to sit him, and it made sense to sub him in for Hull Breach, so it's going to be a good combo. They've played very well together so far this season.
And there's Navi in there as well. Wait a minute. Somebody else has spec'd, it looks like.
Looks like Haze Cloud. I'm not sure if he's spec'd or lagged out. I'm not sure who's going to come in for him, though.
Well, it's going to be Chagrin.
Well, now this is questionable, because now they're taking away the double. I guess Saving is going to play double mid with Doriath now. If Saving doesn't play double mid and he plays offense, then I think that this is a mistake.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Now 1-1 second period, and we are underway. Chagrin in a Weasel, and now Saving. Oh, that's an interesting occurrence here. We have a tank called up by the ref, and Strike's going to score, but from my eyes there, that's a huge tank.
Yeah, there are 2 tanks. There's one tank that actually is a lagger message on the ref rec, And there was another one that didn't register on the ref rec, but Strike took a shot to the face there too. So that's definitely called back.
Well, if you are Crub, you still don't feel that much better. If you are interference, doesn't really matter much at all.
And it's really unfortunate that both Strike and Buckhead are so attached to the Warbird because they're Chagrin with the shot now. Troydan saves it. But because they're two of interferences, they feel like they're two of the best players, but they're so attached to that ship that they're kind of forced into this dual Warbird.
Hang on a second. Bucky scores with a Buckhead sweep up north. And just like that, it is 2-1. The upward sweep. We have a little bit of a delay on the vote. Some people are talking in spec. Well, one person has said tank in spec. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to see a replay here. As you can see, Regiments and Bucky, you're about to see Bucky come up. Oh, there is a shot registered by the server. But it looks as if he may have been hit early. It's hard to say. We'll have to wait and see what the official ruling is from the referee, Super Dan. It's either going to be 2-1 or 1-1. That would be the second disallowed goal in under a minute in this second period. Bucky arguing that he was hit before the pass. In the replay, wow, that looked a little different that time there too. When you have two big teams like this, two of the best teams, you have to make sure that you get the right call, or you at least do everything possible to make sure that you do get the right call.
Yeah, and basically that's the whole thing right now is the shot. Everybody saw clean on the shot, and the discussion is on the hit on Bucky, on what people saw, and if he was hit as he got the ball, like when he got the ball, or if it was right before. And there's a couple people that said that, and so basically just deliberating to find out what the appropriate call is going to be here. Personally, I did not see a tank in real time. And it is going to be called clean.
It is 2-1 interference. Bucky with that shot. I don't know. Personally, I saw clean. I didn't see the tank. I didn't think that was a tank at all. But you know what? Close goals like that will happen. Dirty Birds certainly not a team that's going to just take it. They're going to try and get this one back just like, just like they did last time. And here we go. Super Dan drops the puck, and Navi will immediately toss it into the northwest corner of the arena, and they're going to chase it down, trying to get the puck back. They want to get a goal quickly. Mace will get the puck out of his zone by shipping it up to Regiments. Gives it to Bucky, who gets killed by Doriath. Lineup's still the same from what we can tell. Blucka. Looked like a tank there. Mace will, Navi will throw that past Linux with a phase. Wasn't really sure if the ball handler tanked it there or if it was screen, but personally I think I saw the tank. Bucky to Mace. Finds Reggie. Scrub in some pretty good position there. Wasn't going to allow anything past him. Strike with some really quick speed. Little burst of speed. Doriath duds Bucky and moves the puck ahead. Troydan now has it for the other team. And saving. Trying to get the puck out, but it's going to go to Mace and Bucky, and a huge save by Crub.
Good save by Crub, but Dirty Birds needs to tighten down defensively and this decision to put Chagrin in.
Here's a chance. Oh, Troy Dan with some great D stopping the cross to saving, which would have been a sure goal. Navi gets killed by Mace. So far, this period has been out-jabbed by the more experienced Mace 23. Buckcat catches that, and he'll get killed by Doriath. And now they're going to come back the other way really quickly. Blucka, Doriath, Navi, and Chagrin. Back here's Navi. And Bucky on defense. Dirty Birds really trying hard to get something going here. Saving sitting back. Reggie tanks that one and launches it off the out of the zone. Dirty Birds comes back. Blucka. Being very careful with the puck. Doesn't want to turn it over. Gives it back to Saving. Drops it to Doriath, to Navi, to Saving, back to Blucka. And they're going to try and make something happen here, but Mace will hang on to it and launch it out of the zone. Now we have a chance. Regiments and Mace. Buckcat up top. Oh, there's a clutch kill by Saving. Navi to Chagrin, and they're going to get rid of this puck.
Yeah. I'm not sure. What I was saying before.
We might have a chance here. Saving takes it up top, and he misses. Troy Dan, just in a way, enough space to make him miss the net. That could have been a goal. And now they're going to come back the other way. Strike with Bucky, and Doriath will make that defensive stop as well.
I know that Dirty Birds is really adamant about playing people that show up, which is admirable. But if they really wanted to 100% give themselves the best chance of winning, Abby misses the net there. They should have kept the double mid system going in, and you can tell they've struggled defensively with the change that they've made, adding Chagrin in and taking the double mid system out. I think they might still be trying, but it's definitely not been nearly as effective with what they're doing.
8 minutes left. Bucky throws a puck in off the post, and Krubb will make that save. Bucky and Strike resetting outside the line. Mace to Bucky. Here's Strike, shoots. Oh, big save by Krubb. Biggest of the game so far for him. Krubb really coming out to play. His team down 2-1, but maybe he doesn't like the fact that everybody's focusing on Lennox and goalieship when Krubb has at least played as an above-average goaltender most of the time he's been on the ice.
Well, the thing about Krubb is he'll make a lot of good saves, but there are times that there are situations when he's kind of weak, and that's the thing that people always usually talk about Lennox more. But he's definitely made some huge saves in this game so far.
Here's a chance. Blucka has the puck to Saving. Saving can't catch it. They're going to reset a little bit and start over. Navi still up there in a jab.
Yeah, interference really focusing on defense now that they have that lead.
Here's a chance, Blucka, but it's proxed by Troy Dan. Troy Dan has been excellent on defense tonight. He'll get the puck off the board to Strike, and Strike has a breakaway, shoots, scores! And now it is 3-1 in favor of interference.
And there was another chance you saw there where two Warbirds were up against Doriath alone. This decision to put this line in that Dirty Birds has not been a smart one in terms of if they wanted to keep the best line possible, it's going to give them the best chance of winning. Hayes Cloud does come back in, so they're going to play the double mid again.
Certainly going to have to. They're now down 3-1 to a very tough interference team.
Yeah, and you got to think that this might do a little bit better for them, but at the same time, now Blucka is on offense with Chagrin and Navi, and neither are bad players. Navi's done well in games this season, but you got to think when you're facing one of the top tier teams in the league, you want your better players in there, not your, pretty decent players.
Well, Mace with a great play here, and Strike will go one-on-one with Hayes Cloud. Blucka trying to be back on D, and he gets there. Here's a chance. Mace to Regiments, and Blucka on the crease with a great defensive stop. Obvious no DC from my point of view. Troy Dan now has it behind his blue line. He'll try to dodge Navi. He does, and gets the puck to Buckcat. Troy Dan didn't play that first period at all. In this second period, he has been fantastic. Strike will slap it off of the boards. Up north to Mace. Mace will drop it back for Bucky, so Bucky can make a shot. Here's Regiments, and wow, that's a huge defensive play by Hayes Cloud. Doriath takes it over the center line to Blucka. Tries to dodge Mace out, and Strike will come out of nowhere with a big kill. Warbird on Warbird action. Under 6 minutes to go now. We're over halfway through this second period. Shot is thrown on net for Krub, but he'll make that save, and rather than fire it back to the other team, he'll just let it go to Chagrin at the south boards. He'll leave it for Hayes Cloud back to Chagrin. He'll try to board it to Navi, but it's going to come right into Strike's area. Now Buckcat, the other Warbird, has it. Regiments crosses the blue line. Bucky with a big dodge on Hayes Cloud. Couple tanks there from my point of view. Now Chagrin will have the puck back the other way. Then that happened. Doriath and Chagrin trying to make something happen here. Lots of defense. Strike. We'll leave it for the strong Javelin Mace 23.
Yeah, and Interference has 11 shots to 9 now, and this line has just not been up to snuff, really, for Dirty Birds. Their advantage in puck time and shots has pretty much been completely erased with this period because it's been mostly Interference for the entire period.
Strike comes out to reset the puck to give themselves another opportunity. Navi with a kill! And now Navi, who had a hat-trick last week, finds Blucka, and he's just going to leave it for Doriath with that death pass. And now, that was just a horrendous pass by Chagrin. Blucka will keep the puck in his own zone, or in their zone rather, with Navi. Blucka, Chagrin is just not in the right position. Chagrin struggling a little bit on offense. Obviously, they want to give some people a little bit more playing time to make them a little bit more comfortable. Both of these teams are certainly going to make the playoffs and will probably meet later on. But, Krub with a nice goalie kill there. Navi and Chagrin coming back the other way. As I was saying, though, I mean, we saw Navi with a huge offensive explosion last game. Navi fires it down low. Troydan will easily catch that.
The thing is, Dirty Birds really needed to keep the double mid in, and then they probably, on the offensive end, they probably needed to keep one more strong player and stagger out their subs a little bit more. Maybe kept either Saving or Banana Squadron in for Navi or Chagrin, and then alternated those two in the third period, kind of stagger it that way, as opposed to right now you just kind of got Blucka as the only really premier guy that's on the starting three up there.
Here's Mace with a chance, finds Strike, and wow, Strike is in the crease, tries to get it to Bucky, and Bucky, there's nothing there for him. 3 minutes left. Navi to Blucka. They're going to try and get back into this game with the team that they have, and if they are able to do that, that would be a huge statement against the defending champs. Doriath gets killed, and Blucka can't kill Mace, and now with 3 minutes to go, Buckcat will pass center ice. He's only got to beat Hayes Cloud, and does. Shot on Krub, and scores! We'll have to wait and see what the call is. Looked creased to me, to be completely honest. I think he waited too long to fire that off. How did you see it, Thrill?
I thought he got it off, but it was pretty close.
Seemed really close, and votes on the ref frequency as well, very close.
There were a lot of people that said CR. What makes these really hard, these particular calls, is that if the player keeps flying forward after he shoots, even after he releases the puck, he gets so far into the crease by the time the puck hits the net that sometimes it can look more of a crease than it really was.
Yeah, it certainly does. We'll have to wait and see if there is any sort of a replay or anything. I just saw him in the crease, and generally Bucky gets that shot off and it's more obvious, but there it just, something about it, man. It just looked like he was right in the crease. Here we get another look at it here. This is, of course, just the replay. It's not definitive by any means. But here you see Krub is completely deked out. And see, it's close there as well. But you know what? It still looks creased to me. Lots of controversy this game when you have two great teams playing. course, the rule is obviously the referee and the goal judges are taking some time to make sure they make the right decision. And the goal will be called clean. 4-1 interference now leads.
I really think that people are a little bit fooled by just the way the Buckcat kept flying forward after the shot there, because even after watching the replay, it looked like he got it off, and just the way that he continued flying makes it seem like more of a crease than it really was. I don't know. Like, I've made those kinds of shots plenty of times in my career as well, and those generally are clean shots.
The two Warbirds still on the ice now. Bucky and Strike trying to keep the pressure on. Navi gives it to Blucka. Blucka, 2:33 left in this second period. Regiments seeks everyone, and Krub will get another goalie kill. For the record, it hasn't been announced yet, but tiebreaker does go to the head ref in these kind of situations when you do have really tough situations. We've seen two really close goals tonight, and one goal can immediately take a team out of the game. Regiments and Mace. Oh, Doriath with a catch there. Outside the crease in my eyes. No call. So here we continue. Buckcat will get the puck going the other way. And double kill, basically, but Doriath will credit. I'm sure Hayes is okay with that. 1:31 left.
Spawn. I think there's going to be a spawn kill.
Well, they better call it soon. Here's Blucka. Blucka saved by Linux. And they're going to give it back to the goalie. I don't know if that was in play or not. Wait, here's the stop of the play.
Yeah, it was on Krub, and he's the goalie, so it certainly was out of play.
Oh, this would be bad. This would be really bad if Krub were to have to serve a penalty here or any sort of situation. Well, time has elapsed, but...
Yeah, that's a spawn. That's 100% a spawn, because the way that the module works, it's a timer. So if you get checked within the timer, then the module, records that as a spawn. So it's not like there's any chance that this is erroneous or anything like that. It's pretty cut and dry. So that there's not really any argument of was the time, was the long enough pass, because it couldn't have, just because of the way the module is set up.
Now, for the record, the goalie will not serve the first spawn, so we'll have to see who will serve the penalty for Krub. Now, generally, this is not the smartest thing. He thought there was enough time. In pub, that might have been okay, but in an RSHL game, there's specifics. Looks like Hayes Cloud will be the one that serves it. And this is not good news for Dirty Birds. Actually, Krub is out of the game, and saving comes in.
I'm not sure if he's lagging or what.
Well, I don't know what's going on. There's no goalie on the ice. So whether or not... well, Chagrin, I guess, is going to serve it. This is interesting.
Yeah,
and Krub is two-legged to play.
I'm assuming it'll be saving or Blucka that takes this spot if they're forced to get a replacement. Oh, actually, Luke's is here. Luke's will probably play. I don't know when the last time he played goalie is, but he used to be pretty decent at it.
Dirty Birds has officially, of course, Dirty Birds called timeout.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it now. Green text, yep.
And, things are looking rough for interference right now. They're down 3 goals. And I mean, it's not quite to the same extreme. You just got to question how bad Dirty Birds really wanted to win with the lineup that they put in the second period, which honestly would be fine against most teams. But if you really want to play for the win against the top team, they probably should have left a little bit of a better line in. They made a lot of subs in that. The big thing is they took the double mid out, and they should have had some combination of Haze Cloud, Doriath, and Hullbreach in from the get-go, and that kind of should have been one of the hinges of their strategy. And I think that's probably the main reason that they struggled so much in this period. I mean, they allowed several odd man rushes. They were not the same defensively, and in general, the players that they had in on offense just didn't really compare to the players they had in previously, and it showed. I mean, Dirty Birds dominated that first period in terms of puck control and shots, and it's been the opposite here. Interference has had more of the puck and had a ton more shots than Dirty Birds in this period.
And now we have saving in goal for Dirty Birds. So Hullbreach, Doriath, Blucka, and Navi will be the skaters. And now that Krub is seemingly out of the game, unable to play, saving in goal, you know what? That's still not the, as far as I'm concerned, he's their MVP this year. We still have 6 people on the ice for them.
The thing is, they gave the penalty to Chagrin. That's who they chose to serve the penalty, I think. Haze Cloud's going to serve it. That's probably not who they wanted to serve it, but yeah, Haze Cloud will be warped to the box after the face-off starts. It's the way the module works. But kind of sucks that it's their stay-at-home defenseman. Maybe they could have had him spec and kind of worked that around a little bit so that one of their other players was serving that penalty. But
Blucka has the puck over the blue line. He will make a move on Regiments and Troydan. Troydan has been very good tonight, and, well, he doesn't have to make the play. Regiments does. Buck comes to Bucky at center ice. All he has to do is beat Hullbreach, and he'll have to try to score on saving. He's having to do everything for Dirty Birds this season. Squadron and Blucka, the other 2 elite players on this team.
Well, here's the thing, and not being able to have saving out on offense is going to have a little bit of an impact on that, but he wasn't in on offense anyway. For this period, he was spec'd, and honestly, I mean, no offense to Krub, he's fine, but saving is actually a really solid goalie and is probably better than Krub, so they definitely won't suffer in that area.
Here's a shot. Bucky on saving, does not fall for it at all. And now Navi will board the puck to Blucka. A double kill on strike from Navi. Strike's asking why. There's an unfortunate phase opportunity there, and that's the end of the second period. Interference now dominating this game 4-1. Highest rated player Troydan with 2 assists and a +3 rating in this period. Also Mace very high, 31.7 with an assist. Bucky has 2 goals, but only a rating of 20.0 due to the 26 deaths that he has already. Blucka on the other side, -3.2. Obviously, that's just a Warbird stat, not a big deal. Navi with 11 steals, 10 checks, will be the highest rated player at 19.6.
Yeah, and Dirty Birds still had a little bit more puck time than Interference in that game, but they just were not able to move the puck effectively and get the amount of shots they wanted. They had 9 shots in period 1. They only have 1 shot in period 2. So definitely not the numbers they were looking for. And you got to think that even if Dirty Birds plays their best line for the third period and outplayed Interference, they might not even still score 3 or more goals against Linux. So, right now it's looking like Interference will probably come away with this game and, good on Interference. If they win this, they'll remain undefeated. But it seems pretty clear from Dirty Bird's decision-making that they're a little bit more concerned with spreading out their playing time and being fair in that way as opposed to winning, which is nice, but at the same time, kind of a drag for the teams that kind of wanted to see the best lineups face off. But
well, so far in this game, it has been all Interference, 4-1, 14 shots to 10 shots, and although you Although you can make the argument that the second period did have a major effect, I do think it's still fair to say that both teams are showing very solid players, and interference is just winning this game.
Well, and the thing about the lineup decisions and changes and stuff like that too is that it all goes on the caliber of team that you're facing. I mean, it's not like Navi and Chagrin are going to be detriments to the team or anything like that. Like when you're facing most of the teams in the league, it's not optimal against the best teams in the league when you have better options. And if usually the way that it works out with these top teams is you want to work out those players in there in a way that is basically you're still going to do even or still a little bit better when you have them in where it's staggered out in that way.
Unbelievable. I don't know if you saw this or not, Krub with another spawn kill. He has been in the game for 13 seconds. And that's going to be Krub's second penalty on a spawn kill. And this would be a major based on the ref chart that I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because if it's the same player, then it's a major, right? Normally it's 3, but if it's the same player, it's 2. Is that correct?
A minor would be 2 minutes. A major would be 5 minutes.
That's true. I'm saying based on the chart. I thought that it was the third penalty that became a major, but is it the second if it's the same player? Or is it just the second spawn kill is a major?
It's his second team offense respawn killing.
All right. So I guess I'm not sure if they changed that a couple seasons ago or something like that. I think it used to be the third incursion was the major penalty, but I guess it is the second now. Let's watch this to see if it's in play.
Well, I mean, he flies right back into the goalie and just does it.
That's not in play, I don't think. Yeah, that's... There was no reason for him to check him there either. I mean, the puck was already almost near the wall when Krub checked him.
Yep. So another spawn for Krub. That's his second. And if he does it again, it'll be another major penalty and an automatic suspension. Subsequent team offenses for respawn killing. Yikes.
I don't know. Some people in spec and otherwise are still arguing that was in play, and to those people, no, just stop. We just watched the replay. That's ridiculous. It was definitely not in play.
As somebody, I'm probably the dirtiest goalie in the game when it comes to getting kills on people. That is not an in-play check. There's no debate that is an in-play check, in my humble opinion.
Shagrin just said something to the effect of, shouldn't a goalie fill for players in his crease or something like that? That's probably just the most retarded comment I've seen in Hockey Zone in the past couple of weeks.
You need to listen to more people. Dirty Birds delayed game will follow shortly if they do not pick their player. Still waiting. Blocka, Hull breach, saving. Banana Squadron on the ice. Still 32 seconds left in Haze Cloud's penalty. Squadron says he will sit. Banana will. So that'll do it. Or it'll be a hull breach, apparently. No, it'll be... I think this is going to be fixed. I'm pretty sure that was a mistake. So no worries, everybody can stop freaking out. Oh, Krub chose hull breach. Man, Dirty Bird's very unhappy right now. Squadron is furious.
Yeah, different. Well, here's the thing. I don't know how they can't really blame the ref rec for this because apparently different captains message different things.
Well, that's true. Krub is a captain on this team.
Yeah, so
that's what it is. I think you have to go with the captain, and just that's what happens. So the puck will be dropped. It'll be 5 on. Well, yeah. Blucka takes it himself, and he'll just try to get a goal on Linux immediately. That would be pretty interesting, but he'll miss the net north.
I don't know. I'm sure the Dirty Bird's frustrated right now, but in terms of the calls, I mean, I don't know. You can argue what you want to say, I guess, with maybe 1 or 2 of the calls earlier that seemed closer to 50-50. But I mean, 2 goalie spawn kills and the drama with whoever got in the box. I don't know, some miscommunication between their captains. I mean, it's not really an issue you take up with the ref rec. That's kind of an issue within your own team.
Yeah, it certainly is. 11 minutes left in this third period. What was once a close game is now domination by interference and just complete lack of, well, you know what? A lack of professionalism on Dirty Bird's part and a lack of staying calm.
Well, and I think what it was is, and I'm not sure if they talked about this before the match, but with the line in the second period, they shouldn't be too upset about losing because it's clear just from the decisions they made that, you know, they're kind of saying we value being fair to our players and spreading out the play time more than winning, which is a fine decision to make. I mean, it is a regular season, it's not playoffs.
Oh boy. Well, we have a potential DC in there for Troy, Dan. And this would be a nice little break for Dirty Birds. Here's the call. Have to assume it's probably going to be a defensive crease on Troydan. Has been really solid today, but based on all the commotion in the crease or around the crease, first team offense for a defensive crease is a minor penalty. Second team offense is a minor penalty. Subsequent team offenses, major penalty, and automatic suspension. This could be bad if there's more DCs on interference. They're going to have to be really careful. When you're up by 3 goals, you really do not want to get some sort of silly DC for no reason when you're going to win the game. Banana Squadron has the puck now, looking for saving. Finds him saving with the ball kill. And, well, he's not going to trick Lennox with that move.
Well, Dirty Birds is down a player for another 3 minutes and 20 seconds, and they have the period that they absolutely dominated with in the first period. They have that line in. I mean, honestly, the score was even, but in terms of puck control and shots, they were like up almost 2 minutes on puck control and had twice the shots. But even if they have the same results here in the first period, they did not score 3 goals in that first period, even with how well they played. So you got to think it's going to take a huge effort from them, especially since interference is going to try to lock down defensively to score 3 goals on Linux in the next 9 minutes.
That's what they're going to have to do. Mace 23 crosses the blue line. And it's going to go all the way up. Strike catches that puck. And now Pilot has it to Mace. And saving with a nice defensive play. And now saving and Blucka coming back the other way. 2-on-1 against TJ. Blucka with some nice little, I want to say dodging or decoy tactics. People calling for the DC. But they're more concerned with getting the goal and not necessarily putting somebody in the box or, in some cases, a suspension. Wow, more lag. That was silly.
Yeah, some spiking around a little bit.
Banana Squadron, Blucka off the bottom post.
Yeah, that was a great chance. Good vision. Kind of a rare miss by Blecka, probably. There was a lot of space on the net there.
Saving to Blecka. And they're going to keep trying to make something happen here. It's going to fade. Oh, wow. A huge lag there. 8 minutes left in this third period. For the record, Troy Dan's DC was the first one for the team. There were some, a lot of spawns and stuff like that, but it would take 2 more DCs for there to be an automatic suspension. Here's saving, shoots, scores! Wow.
Yeah, so that's a clean goal, and they were shorthanded for that. So, of course, you would expect that if somebody's gonna make something like that happen, that it probably would be Saving or Blecka or some of the players that Dirty Birds has. So, good job by them, and they'll have about half a period plus a minute to score 2 goals to tie it up, and it definitely is something that they can do. I mean, it'll be kind of tough with Linux in there, but it's not something that's beyond them by any means.
Troy Dan with a nice defensive play there. Here's a chance. Troy Dan scores, and that's going to take a lot of wind out of the sails of Dirty Birds.
Yeah, and I was going to mention this on the next play, but it ended up happening before I mentioned it. And I was going to say, and trying to generate these chances that Dirty Birds trying to get to tie the game, how many odd man rushes are they going to give up? And they gave up an odd man rush on that play. And, I don't know. Dirty Birds did okay with that for a while. And then there were just too many players on the crease for Haze Cloud to deal with.
Here's Strike with the puck over the blue line. Banana Squadron trying to get the puck up to Blecka. Saving has it. And Pilot with a steal.
Penalty is over for Dirty Birds, so now they have full strength again. But now, again, right after Dirty Birds had clawed their way back up to within 2, interference had scored another one, so now they have to score 3 goals still in 6 minutes. And it's still not something that's beyond them, to be honest. I mean, they are quite a good team, but it's going to be a tall order to kind of do that against Linux. Especially since even if they score one more goal, they're probably just going to stack the crease for the last couple minutes to close it out.
Six minutes left in this third period. And we have an update on the penalty chart. No suspension would be there for a defensive crease. The chart that is on the forum that I was looking at is actually out of date, but the one on the website is correct. So it would not be any sort of a ridiculous suspension, which is nice to hear, actually. Bucky on the ice gets killed by Blecka. And Troy Dan has it in the northeast corner. Hull breach. The saving Banana Squadron to Blecka. Pilot with a big kill, and Linux will just pick that up. Now 5 minutes left. It's thrown down to Hull breach, but Pilot will now take it out of the zone. He legs it through somebody so that TJ can pick it up. If this game ends now, Dirty Birds will no longer be the #1 team in Hockey Zone, and I think it's safe to say interference will jump up to #1 on many people's lists. Here's a chance. Blecka misses the net.
You got to say on the power rankings, I mean, it's going to have to be that way just because they'll be the only undefeated team. And that's one thing I was going to say is by just the chat and other things like that, it seems like Dirty Birds are not pleased right now. Of course, nobody likes losing, but hold on a second. I'll continue this thought.
Here's a chance. Bucky with a breakaway on Krub. Oh, he can't get the puck past him. Krub will procs that one for the save.
But basically what I was saying is I feel like they shouldn't be too upset because, it seemed like they pretty much made the decisions themselves that they were okay with losing if, as opposed to just leaving their same lineup. Lag, pretty obvious lag there. But they made that decision themselves with the line they put in. It was kind of basically like saying we want to play our players, and you got to think. I honestly think that they probably would have won this match if they had just kept kind of their top line in for 3 periods, or at least for 2 periods, for the first 2 periods, before giving away that advantage. But that was kind of their decision to risk doing that to give their players some playing time. So I'm a little bit confused about why they're upset.
Now Bucky will come up the other way. 5-2 now, 4 minutes to go. Mace bounces it off the north wall. Blucka off the south wall. And here they go. Dirty Birds needs to get a goal. They're down 3 with 3 minutes to go. Mace finds Pilot on the breakaway. Pilot to Buckcat, and he gets killed by Krub. Nice stop by Krub. And Krub did not kill Bucky there when he could have for the 3rd spawn kill.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% for sure, but on the 3rd offense on spawn kills, is it a penalty? Is it a suspension?
Yes.
I believe it is.
Yeah, I had to look it up. Banana Squadron can't get the puck past Lennox, and he'll just throw it outside of the procs of Ace Cloud Furry now in the arena for interference to see his team up 5-2.
He probably will be a little disappointed with the result, as history has shown. Furry tends to bet against his team in the predictions league.
Bucky working past everybody. For the record, what would the suspension be? How many games? What's the default? Is it just 1? It is 1 game.
Yeah, I think it's 1.
Dirty Birds now 2 minutes to try to get 3 goals just to get to overtime.
Saving with this nice patience there, doing a little bit of wiggling and dodged 2 or 3 players on the crease, but
that javelin's strong. Mace finds the puck to Bucky. Bucky with a breakaway, finds Pilot, shoots, scores!
Yeah, and that was a pretty big mischeck by saving there.
This would make it 6-2, and this game's pretty much all over. 2 minutes left. I think what we can do now is start wrapping this up. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. When you have a game of 6-2 interference, is there any possibility that interference is not the #1 ranked team here?
Well, based on results, you have to say absolutely they have to be #1. I mean, they're 6-0. You have to say, though, that top line versus top line, which was the first period, Dirty Birds had the advantage there play-wise. And in the second period, when interference got their lead, they were facing far from the optimal line for Dirty Birds. I mean, Chagrin, honestly, not that stellar of a player. And Navi is okay, but, he's not a top-tier player that you are going to want to play a lot against a top-tier team. So, it's good on them and to get this, but I'm not convinced that facing the top line, I think the Dirty Birds top line is still a little bit better than Interference's top line. But in my power ranking, Interference is going to be top because that means they won the game, they have the results. That's the way it's going to be.
Who will be #2?
I don't know. I guess it will depend on the results of well, I guess this is probably the last game of the week, so
Yep.
probably Dirty Birds. I'll probably leave Dirty Birds in there at number 2. I guess it's kind of a. I mean, they beat Baby Seal Killers, and Baby Seal Killers is the only team that you could argue for being in that top 3 aside from those two, probably. So I probably would have it at Interference 1, Dirty Birds 2, and Baby Seal Killers 3. But lots of important matches next week, actually. Baby Seal Killers actually faces Interference. And, we have a much smaller roster than Dirty Birds, and we also have a little bit a different mentality in the way that we distribute lines. So that matchup might go a little bit differently than this. Like, at least I don't think it'll see where we have an advantage in one period and kind of throw it away by, changing our line too drastically or anything like that.
Key matchups next week to keep in mind: Execution at Kick You Apart on Sunday. I think that's going to be an interesting game. Interference at Execution on Monday. Baby Seal Killers and Interference the following Thursday at 11 p.m. That's certainly going to be the key matchup of the week, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, and right now it's looking like Interference is definitely going to be seated very high, because you got to think they're 6-0 right now. In the second leg of the schedule, I mean, it's pretty much indisputable that they're going to probably beat most of the lower tier teams. So they're going to have a lot of wins. So the way that the first half of the regular season has gone for them, you got to think they're probably at least going to be 3 or 4, a top 4 definitely. I can't see them going below that with the amount of wins they have so far, with the amount of projected wins they have with the rest of their season schedule.
Well, that's it for us tonight. I'm the Red Raven alongside Thrill. Make sure we'll make sure that we have a broadcast on Sunday. Make sure you come out. It's the Realistic Subspace Hockey League. Check us out at rshl.org. Have a great night.
Thanks, man.